Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Michael, and I'm exploring all the different ways that stationery can bring me joy. I thought I would bring you guys along today for a journal with me while I fill in some more pages in my traveler's notebook. One of the notebooks that I have in here is kind of like my traveling in New York City. I do live here, but it's kind of documenting the fun New York City specific things that I do. So it's a little different from my daily journal, which is more about personal life and events. And this is more just about like New York City experiences. So I have my traveler's notebook in olive here. I recently made my own edge protector in my last video, and I can put the link up there so you can see it. And a new addition, even though I showed it, I didn't really highlight it, is I found on the street a man who had the old New York City Transit Authority tokens, and he was turning them into jewelry, and I bought one from him just as a charm, not with the necklace. And he let me haggle him just for the charm and not the chain, and now I have that added to the front as well. So I'm going to be journaling about two different experiences I had in the city recently. One, I had family visit from out of town, and so I got to play tour guide for a little bit, and I took them through Washington Square Park, Nolita, Soho, Chinatown, that area. We also saw the fireworks on the 4th of July down way at the bottom of Manhattan, and so just kind of like documenting that. We also went to the Met. That was kind of the next day, but I'm just going to kind of throw it in. And then I recently decided that what are New York experiences if not Broadway as well? So I'm going to be also documenting any Broadway shows I see in this notebook. And so I recently saw Death Becomes Her on Broadway. I took a friend for their birthday, and so I'm going to make a page about that and my thoughts about the show. So yeah, let's jump in. All right. So here are the two pages that I have set aside for this spread. And let me just get some clips to hold these suckers down. And grab this one. I am backfilling this. I do already have some entries forward, but I like to keep post-its to remind myself of what needs to go on these pages. So I'll stick these up here to remind myself. All right, so for the Death Becomes Her spread, I've already kind of gathered some ephemera, some stickers, some things that I think might work well to kind of match the vibe of the show. And also, the Broadway show did have its own sticker sheet, which I was really excited to see. And since I am backfilling this, I have gone to a few more shows since then, and a lot of shows are actually starting to carry sticker sheets. So the stationery community has spread its influence into Broadway. I bet you that there is a overlap of stationery enthusiasts and Broadway lovers. I thought that since this is like a dark kind of spooky purplish dark greenish vibe, these might work. I didn't realize how much pink played a role. I don't really have any pink. Oh, I grabbed this Wizard of Oz sticker sheet because in an opening number, one of the characters ends up looking like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, and I thought I could capture that perhaps with one of the Dorothy stickers in this sheet. Although I did also pull these glittery hearts just because I thought they were fun, but maybe I could use purple and pink in this spread. Oh, and the washi tape that I grabbed that I thought would be good is this Paper Blanks washi that kind of has the vibe, the Art Nouveau vibe that we're going for. So let's see. I think I also want to use this frame. Oh, there's two of them. Huh. I've never used something like this before, so I'm just gonna try and pop it out. Perforated paper ASMR. I don't know how well the mic is picking that up. And I think I want to use the most outer version, so I just need to boom. All right. So I've got this that I haven't bent up too badly. Oh, and I also have this circle dots and strips that I thought might work. I'm wondering if I should just keep this kind of in this rectangular form. I would then have to glue something to be able to write because this is way too thin. I could also do like a diagonal number. I kind of like this. Well, first I'm going to cut this so that it's straighter edge. And then I wonder, what if I tore down to create like a rough edge? Well, no time like the present. Okay, you know what? I kind of like that. And then I'll be able to maybe do this frame and the death becomes her sticker right there. I like that. I'm wondering if I even need this. Let's see. Maybe just on the inside. Okay, let's try this out. Grab a pencil. I'm thinking this will give some visual interest. I'm just rough making a line because the image is actually smaller than these outer lines that I'm drawing. So I can just go on the inside of what I drew. And this was a bag that I think I got postcards in from when I was traveling. And I just thought that the design was pretty. Because then this is going to sit over it. And And then the death becomes her sticker. Yeah, I kind of like that. Well, and I have this sticker of these two women, and now I'm wondering if I should cut it so that they're in the frame. Oh, I love that idea. Okay. Slice. And so this is gonna go inside the frame. So I need to kind of go on the edge of this paper. The show is about two women. It's based off of a film. I cannot remember now the year that the film came out. I think it was late 80s, probably late 80s, if not very early 90s. Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn play these two women who are kind of rivals. And they each take an elixir that gives them immortality. Like, they become youthful and beautiful and they'll never die, but you know, hilarity ensues. The film is very like dark, like it's a very like a black comedy. It's very sardonic, and the show is as well, but it also kind of has a little more slapstick to it than the movie did to kind of adapt it to the Broadway stage. Okay, I'm really liking how this all looks, so I'm just going to start gluing down. Usually I don't glue until the very end, but I know that I want that to look that way, so I'm just going to grab my glue stick. And so, because there's two female leads, I found this sticker in like one of those sticker books. I have many of them. Well, not many, like 2 or 3. I think the one that I got this from is this one, Wicca sticker book. And it has really beautiful images in here. And they can represent the two leads, even though they are not brunettes, but alas. The show was a lot of fun. It was very, very funny, and that was great. Like I said, it's a little more slapstick than the film is. I thought the visual effects were really wonderful. Like the changes that they made to make it more of a Broadway show, I thought were great. And not that I want to spoil, the ending is different than the one in the film. And I had read many interviews about the original film, and I think that the Broadway show uses what was the original ending of the movie, but then test audiences did not like that ending, and so they switched it to how the movie actually ended, which is a little more on a funnier note. Whereas in the original ending and now the ending on the Broadway show, it's a little more, I mean, it still has a funny element, but it's more contemplative, I guess, like on the nature of immortality and like what does it mean to actually, if you were able to live forever, would that be something you actually want, you know? So gluing that down. Again, I'm just using this glue stick. Every time I use it, it really does smell like suntan lotion. I feel like I'm at the beach. Gonna get this frame glued up. The only problem is this is very thin, so it is getting all over my finger, but alas, what are you to do? All right. Just gonna clip this down again. And let's get this vinyl sticker. Okay, loving how that looks. Okay, remember I have this washi. Let's see if I can figure out how to incorporate that. Maybe I'll just put a little bit here, like I'm trying to patch up this crack, like in the logo, you know, the marble is becoming cracked. Maybe that'll be like a nice nod to the torn edge plays off of that, and it's like I'm trying to fix it. I'll leave that kind of lightly up in case I want to reposition something under there. So, trying to think what else to add. Maybe I can use this interior of this cutout, this frame, to mention the moment in the, it's very early, I think it's the first musical number, where one of the characters like comes out dressed as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And I really do love that musical number. I think it's I Do It For The Gaze, G-A-Z-E, but it sounds like she's saying gaze. And so there's all these like funny references to gay films and gay culture, and you know, that's why she comes out as Judy Garland as Dorothy. Let's see, I can use one of these stickers, and I'm gonna put it with this thing right here. Yeah. Well, my phone battery died, so I didn't get to record the part where I glued in this little frame and stuck down the Dorothy sticker to kind of write about that one song here. I took the vinyl sheet, and there was a sticker here that said, "Now a warning," which is a really great moment from the film with Meryl Streep and in the show. And so I wanted to include that there. And I think that this is, you know, a little simple, but I think it captures the essence of the show really well. And I'm excited to write about it here, which means we can move on to this side, which is when I was exploring the city with my aunt and my two cousins, you know, and kind of showing them around Lower Manhattan. In my aunt's hotel room, they had these city maps, and, you know, us stationery journaling people were always looking for ephemera, so I swiped one, and I thought it'd be really fun to kind of tear the map up and kind of like use it in a spread. And so I have it here. I kind of tore out the section of the city that we were traveling around. We started in Washington Square Park and kind of made our way down all the way through into Chinatown, Little Italy, and then also later on the day for the 4th of July fireworks, we were kind of like over here to watch those. And so I thought this might look really good here in this bottom corner. And for the fireworks, I have this sticker sheet that my friend got me when they went to Japan, but there are some stickers right here that are very much firework looking. I think they're supposed to be fireworks actually, so I can stick that here as well. I have this bag. We went after breakfast and after Washington Square Park, we walked over to Lafayette, Bakery Lafayette, and they are very famous for these like croissant circles, it's not really a cronut. It's like almost like a jelly donut or stuffed donut, but it's a croissant dough. And we had a pistachio one. It was very delicious. And so I took the bag and I cut out the name. They also had a blueberry special that day, because there's always like a special one for the 4th of July. My cousins did not want blueberry, so we just split a pistachio between the 4 of us. We'd already had breakfast, but I knew that they needed to experience the deliciousness of these. I also like the way that it says New York, New York. I like the font. Maybe I'll keep that and put it here. It is very large, the word Lafayette, for such a small portion of our day. I'm wondering if I can not waste, but use up that much space. I also have this paper, which is kind of like the itinerary that I kind of wrote out for them, for us to kind of follow. And while we didn't do it exactly like this, I thought it would be fun to like put this in as a piece of ephemera or memory for the day, and have it maybe be tipped in, like pop in. Although I'm now realizing, because this side is blank, I could probably write something about the day and then fold it up to see the itinerary. It's quite large though, with this being so large. Well, what if I were to do like a double tip in? We're getting into like pop-up book territory. But if I put this here, and then I put this at an angle over it, if I crease this so that it folds up, then it'll fold over. I can write about something about the day, and then this will fold up. Okay. A little different, but I'm willing to try it. Getting crafty. And then I know we went to Washington Square Park, and I have this sticker. It is Washington Square Park in the winter, but you know, you gotta work with what you got. Maybe put my Met thing down here. I did grab this to put a piece of art, but I don't know if I have enough space for both of these. We did get pizza in Little Italy, so I wanted to get one of these pizza boxes from this set. We did go to Chinatown, and this kind of wrapping paper has this red and gold motif that kind of reminds me of like the Chinese lanterns down there. Maybe I can do, I kind of like that. A situation where this is layered. And I'll cut this, because somewhere we also went was, I might actually have to get rid of this just to have more space to write. Because where we also visited was, I have more ephemera, is the Museum of Chinese in America. So I might want to cut that out. So let me grab that. And I want this to be a little thinner. Okay. So maybe I can almost make it like the order that we did things. So it's like Lafayette, and then we had a cannoli, which I was going to represent. I don't have a cannoli sticker. But I've got these like little sweet treat cats, and I thought maybe I could use one of those. We got pizza. The Museum of the Chinese in America, Museum of Chinese in America, and then ended on fireworks. I also have this Miffy sticker that I thought would be interesting to use because there's 4 people walking about, and that was the 4 of us getting crazy. So I'm gonna try and cut along the edge here. And I also have this sticker of these feet because we walked so much. I had cut this off. There were 2 male figures and used it in a different journal spread, but I walked like 35,000 steps this day, and it was a lot. And I thought, I want to mark that somewhere. All right, so I have this tip-in happening up here. Maybe I'll put these 4 people here, or maybe down here. And I can kind of describe the things we did here. I also have this like quintessential New York washi. Maybe that's what I'll use for my tip-in. And maybe do it like up here on the corner. Let me start gluing down some layers. Step 1, this tip-in, which I'm just gonna really commit to. Woo! So, gotta glue this puppy in. And that's what's great about this glue stick, is because it is square shaped, it can get right up to the edges. This was a really fun day. It's always fun to kind of see the city you live in, especially if it is a major city, like a tourist again. There are so many things in New York that I don't do, and some that I haven't like even never done, just because I live here, and it's like, why? It doesn't seem like a priority to go do like this touristy thing. All right, so that is tipped in. And then I have my Lafayette, which I'm going to glue just this corner down. And then, et voila, it opens. So flip, flip. Okay. Let me figure out what this is going to look like. And then slice off this excess. Then I need to solidify this placement. Okay. I need a pencil here to help me. I need to add lots of glue to this. Okay. What are your favorite touristy things to do? Are you just a walk about the city kind of person? Are you a hit up the major places to visit? Everyone's travel style is so different. I have a friend who they cannot stand the like really touristy areas. They just like to go and wander about as if they're a local when they visit somewhere. And you know, I decided to kind of do a little bit of both with my aunt and cousins, like see the neighborhoods, but not hit up like major museums or anything. Just here are fun treats to have. You know, we had a cannoli in Little Italy. The Cannoli King. I always forget the name of the cafe. And then we stopped at some shops in Chinatown, like Pearl River. We also got the pineapple pork bun in Chinatown. So good. I believe the restaurant is, let me see, did I write it down? Boop, boop, boop. I think so. I think it's My Le Wa, and they have a pineapple pork bun. So good. And kind of just like see the sights, take photos. I think I'm gonna do this New York City washi tape along this edge, and maybe down here. Yeah, I like that. And then Washington Square Park was where we started our day. We stopped off for the treat at Lafayette. We made our way down. We had a cannoli, which I'm sure anyone who loves cannolis is like thinking that I'm using this croissant cat as blasphemy, but I know what it represents. So even though it is a tiny cat in a type of croissant style dough, to me, this is a cannoli. We went to the Museum of Chinese in America. And this is a great little museum. It had about one large exhibit and then two like special exhibitions, and it's free, which was amazing. Want to get that in there. This part's not sticking down, so I'm gonna go on with the glue pen. All right. Fireworks, pizza. So we had pizza for lunch. backtracked into Little Italy. Oh my god, this is gonna drive me crazy. It's so stiff but not sticking down, and I may have just made it worse. Oh Lord. This is the problem with my personality, is that this will drive me crazy. I really should just drop it. And then I think that's, other than the fireworks. Oh, I wanted to quickly mention the mat. You know what I can do is I can cut this, because I think this is way too big, but I can go like this. Take off this number. And maybe stick that right there. Oh, I know what I'll do, because I did want to include the steps. Maybe I can include that here. I'll write something. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do here. I like that those will stick out. And I think, oh wait, fireworks. Can't forget the fireworks. Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna stick that there. You always think you're done, and then you're adding one more thing. It's almost like the opposite of that Coco Chanel quote. Before you leave the house, take one thing off. It's like, before you finish the spread, stick one more thing down. There we go. Close up our glue stick, and I think this is good. I think I've captured everything that I wanted to in this spread, and I'm gonna clean up right in there, and then I'll show you what the writing looks like. And by the powers of movie magic, here we are at the completed spread for 2 different days. As you can see, I wrote in about the show. I did also forget that I had pulled this sticker of this like perfume bottle that kind of looks like the potions bottle from the show. So I stuck that in. But yep, wrote all about that. Had a little bit of a fountain pen moment. The pen that I had ran out of ink right as I wrote the first word, as that is wont to happen. Then over here, wrote on the tip-in. I added this hot, hot, hot sticker. I forgot that I had pulled that because it was scorching hot that day. And updated the itinerary by crossing out the things that we didn't end up doing. So it is an accurate list. And I added this sticker of this Coffee Monster Co. emoji sweating into a pile of its own, or a puddle of its own sweat, because it was so hot that day. But yeah, went in and added little notes on the things that we did. On the map, I decided to take a permanent marker and just kind of like draw a rough guesstimate of our travels. And so yeah, I'm really happy. I kind of love this double tip-in. Boom, boom. And that the way that all of this came out, I think, is really great. Oh, I'm realizing I don't have the date here. And this was July 4th. So I'm just going to add that. All right, and so that is the spread. Wow, I knocked the camera very hard right there. Thank you so much for joining me in this journal with me. I hope that you had a good time. I hope that you were accomplishing something at your desk with me, whether it was backfilling a journal or any other task. I'm just glad that we got to spend this time together. I hope you have a great rest of the day, however much of it is left for you, and that you keep exploring the possibility of a blank page. Until next time, goodbye.